the answers and I can just type it all in the Google Doc and I'll just submit it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Got it.
Did anybody have anything good for question 1?
So I think so question 1 says, what do the researchers attempt to study and why? Does the purpose of the study satisfy the basic criteria for scientific research? So according to that article, it was just talking about the effects of COVID and the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were just focusing on the study of the vaccine, and I think it was kind of ambiguous because everybody was trying to figure it out at that time, so they didn't really have the answers.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, okay, do we take the vaccine, and then what about social distancing? Like, what is the appropriate measures for social distancing, and when do we stop social distancing? How do we know everybody's good? And then it varied between different demographics and different age ranges too. So I think they were trying to see exactly how it affects different people, and I guess what information they could portray to the public.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of people, well, as an example, in the hospital, a lot of people were expecting, okay, if I get the vaccine, so social distancing mask will be gone, and so I don't have to practice that anymore. So when they realized that it was that we have to continue to use the mask and the social distance plus vaccine, first booster and second booster and even third, people stop believing that the vaccine was like no making any effect, because you can still get COVID, you can still get the same symptoms or even getting worse, and a lot of people died even when they were vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a couple of people my friends' parents who went in not even for COVID and wound up dying because they got it there. They got, they were older, but that really freaks me out.
Right.
I can imagine. And I'm sure that contributed to the fear.
So I think, the researcher, it's kind of going to the deeper investigations of why to the vaccine. It's
okay.
Kind of difficult to accept in our times right now.
Yeah.
And then number 2, what does Stanovich call the section study questionnaire?
So I had a hard time with this. About what Stanovich called the study questionnaire, because I looked at that chapter. I couldn't find anything. Obviously, Stanovich wrote his book way before this vaccine and way before this study. So I still need to get clarification from him on what I'm supposed to be taking that from. But basically I have like this, this study included participant demographics, ACEs, which is adverse childhood experiences, health conditions, trust in information on COVID-19 from the NHS, and attitudes towards COVID and the vaccine, basically. They used types, looks like there's a lot of types under 18, physical, verbal. Oh, and people that had the ACEs were like the physical, verbal, or sexual abuse, parental separation, exposure to domestic violence, living with a household member with mental illness, alcohol and drug abuse were measured using an adapted measure. And so they looked at that particular group of people to see what their belief, whether face coverings should continue. And asked, like, if during lockdown, if they had stayed locked down, and if they had done social distancing. Participants, there were so few like white groups of whites that they combined categories. So it was like whites and non-whites, and then they did different categories. They like noted that because ethnicity was regarded. And and then I don't know if he wants like the results of the study, but it's pretty comprehensive. Like there's a lot of answers to that. But as far as what that has to do with Stanovich, I don't get that part. And then also like number 3, I had, here we examine the relationships between, which is how it's supposed to start. And it says let's see. Sorry. Oh yeah, what does Stanovich call this and why is it important? That was something, again, I'm not sure what Stanovich would call that. When I look at chapters 11 and 12, it doesn't tell me obviously anything about the study. So I'm assuming it wants us to assume something in one of those two chapters that's similar to what we're talking about. Is that
Yeah.
okay? And then to give you the answers, Kimmy, I'll have to ask the professor what, like, to, I guess just to be more specific about where to look for that, because since it was written before, I don't understand that part.
Yeah.
That was my 2 cents.
Then number 4.
Review left column. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
open.
looked at number 4,
Mhm.
and it was a 1 to 2 theories described in the OpenStax textbook that best describe the concepts underlying ACEs. Briefly describe the main concepts of each theory. So that's something I'm going to look into as far as OpenStax. I was reading the article, so I didn't have a chance to go into OpenStax, but I'll review that,
Okay.
and then we could see those 2 theories. I don't think that's a difficult task.
Yeah.
I wonder if part of this is relating our books to current studies, because it sounds like kind of the same thing. Like in OpenStax, you would have to find something that was obviously not the same thing, but similar.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's also just in like our green textbook, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah, I
Lisa,
guess
you
I
are
just-
recording.
Yes.
You're recording now, right? Okay.
I am recording, yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
We've been recording.
We've been recording.
Okay. No, I thought so because I was confused.
Yeah,
with
right when I
yeah,
said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay,
Then
so go ahead. Does anyone have, what was 5?
5.
So 5 is Bellis et al. 2021, say page 2. Although suffering ACEs is not deterministic, higher exposure to ACEs is related to a greater likelihood of developing chronic health conditions and substantive increases in poor mental health. What does Stanovich say about deterministic explanations of a phenomenon? And what does he caution us to consider in their place, and why is this alternative important? Yeah, I'm kind of like you. At least I don't know what he would say.
Well, because the chapter 11 is like the role of chance in psychology. So I don't like, and there's a great part about, with coincidences between like Kennedy and Lincoln and all that stuff, but I don't see anything that even comes close to what we're talking about. So maybe that's my bad, but we'll have to clarify. Because, and then the chapter 12 is the Rodney Dangerfield of sciences. And that has nothing to do with this either.
Right.
So
I was like, where does he fit in and all?
We'll get the written answer, but I don't know if we have everything right yet. We have time though.
Yeah, we can get the written answers just as far as
relating them to.
I'll look in to see what he says about deterministic explanations. And,
okay. And I emailed him too, so I'm sure he'll get back to me.
Yeah.
What was 6 was about what type of research did Bellis do?
Yeah, I'm still zooming. We'll be done soon. Sorry, I'm literally upstairs from a Christmas party.
Oh, it's okay. We've all done this in weird places, especially Oscar in that stairwell in your scrubs, and then Shadu in the at LAX in her car. That's fun.
Okay, yeah. And then 6, what are the strengths and limitations of this study?
I think part of the limitation is that it's not over yet, I guess, right? Or it's still ongoing. I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody else have any insight on what the strengths are? Let's see. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Caitlin, I'm still doing it. Okay, well, you can wait 5 minutes.
Oh, you know what? It actually does say, sorry, I don't know if you guys can even see me or not, but it says the first page of the Bella study, it says strengths and limitations of study. The strengths, so this is a large national sample surveyed during a period of national restrictions. Although not unusual for unsolicited telephone surveys, the participation level was 36.4%, creating a potential for a self-election bias among respondents. And then prevalence of adverse childhood experiences reported was consistent with others. ACEs were self-reported, and then outcomes investigated both measures of trust and preference for different health regulations. Okay, so I got that too, that part of the limitation was that people in this category or group didn't trust the people that they were talking to, or they didn't trust the people in general that were doing it, and so it was harder for them to get like a real response. But I can, whoever wants to do that can put 6, like, and just, it's right on the front page of that article. We could just list out the strengths and weaknesses, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Wait, which one was that? 7?
That was 6, and then we have 7.
Oh, okay.
Look at figure 2.
Oh yeah, and I don't know where Jacob is. I tried to get Jacob to come. I was asking him to look at the questions, and I was hoping he'd get one of these, but he's not here. So
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Yeah, he's been tough to reach. So 7 is, let's see, where's 7?
And then 7 is basically like making like decisions with, or decision making with how do you say that? Visualizations?
Oh,
Does that
okay.
sound right? Visualizations.
Wait, why am I not? Sorry, I'm trying to find the questions because I lost it. I had it all written down before. Oh, here we go. Interpret the figure, particularly meaning the light blue line at the bottom versus the black line at the top in the future. Although these data do not come from an experiment, what does Stanovich use to describe information illustrated in a graph like in figure 2?
Yeah, so it's models of visualization, comprehensive, in a dual process account of decision making. That's basically what it was. So it's just decision making with visualizations.
Okay.
And then, 8, it is what does Stanovich call this potential bias? Non-response bias, when it says we do not have any measures of whether responses would have differed in those refusing to participate or not answering calls. So it's basically saying like non-response bias, like you won't know like your like, I don't know how to explain this. Like you're not gonna know how someone could affect like a measurement because obviously they won't be in it. So you just like, it's just non-responsive bias. If that makes sense. I don't know. And
doesn't
then
make sense to me, but that's just me because a lot of this is, but I'm sure it's right.
B, I'm still like trying to kind of figure this one out. I need to get my book again because I don't have it with me, but we can just go on to 9.
Oh, okay. So wait, I kind of know B. So because I read a lot about like who was in the study.
Oh,
because I was trying to find the Stanovich. So what was the procedure used for obtaining participants in the study? That actually was part of Article 2. The study had more women and limited numbers of ethnic minority participants represented. Why do you think this occurred? What is Stanovich called potential? Okay, so well, part of that it did note is that they had low levels of